Welcome to Tell Me Something Good, the podcast where we shine a light on the incredible ways Christ Greensboro is sharing God's boundless love with our community and beyond.
Yeah, that's right. From inspiring mission projects to heartwarming stories of generosity and service, we're here to celebrate the good news happening right here at Christ Greensboro.
I'm Lori Gray.
And I'm Robert Joe. Together we'll dive into the ministries, partnerships, and people that are making a difference every single day.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let us tell you something good. Rojo, hello.
Hello, Lori. How are you?
I have missed you. I know you came down to South Carolina to see us, but it was only one night.
Well, and I sighed because I've missed you too, and I'm about to leave for a week.
I know. So I have a question.
Sure.
I meant to ask this before we printed the news and updates. So we're closed on July 4th, on Friday. Are we also closed
you
on
texted me, sorry. Okay.
Are we also closed on the 3rd?
So my understanding is that those of us who do not work Fridays, which is most of the staff, we get a comp day. So most people, I would assume, are taking it on Thursday.
Okay.
So it's not like officially closed, but I would assume that it will be closed based on most of the staff taking it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we'll update you on social media about that.
Yes.
And maybe in the, I don't know, maybe in the Monday email as well.
Yes.
So look for that if you're, anyway, okay.
But
So
this
there's
is
that.
the week of Independence Day.
It is. I love Independence Day. Let freedom ring. You know that song?
Is it like a Trace Adkins song?
No, it's like Martina McBride. That's
Not
way
the
off.
same. Not the same.
Okay, so let's talk about last week because so
Okay.
last week I was
Yes.
on the mission trip.
Yes, you were.
We were in North Charleston, like
Charleston.
Johns Island area, and it was 435,000 degrees.
And that's no exaggeration.
You literally walked out the door and
It smacked you in the face.
your clothes are just damp.
Yeah.
Because the humidity is redonkulous down there.
It made me miss Greensboro weather.
I know, right? It's so steamy. And you can't, anyway. But you came down you brought Pastor Katie down, which was awesome.
So you were there Sunday to Saturday. And I was there Wednesday and Thursday.
Right.
Not
You
the
spent
whole
the
day,
night.
but yeah.
You spent Wednesday night because you got to go do Serenity Park with us, which was, oh my gosh. I feel like I cried. Oh, okay, I know this is not going to be shocking to anybody listening. I cried every day last week.
Yeah.
For various, just.
It is, I think like any short-term, long-term mission trip, it is exhausting and so rewarding in all of the ways.
It was, oh my gosh.
And you're run down, you're physically exhausted from the work, you're mentally exhausted from peopling, you're just in a very vulnerable state on a mission trip.
Well, and so like Wednesday night, we went and we remembered.
Yeah, explain that.
So we went and we remembered Bonnie Amos and Ed Duda, who were longtime leaders on the mission trip.
Yeah.
And that place, as Katie said, Serenity Park is a very thin place.
Yeah.
And the wind was kind of blowing, and I'm gonna start crying. Anyway, so we had communion. We remembered Bonnie and Ed. Pastor Susan's ashes are spread there, and so we had a little bit of Bonnie to leave there with Susan.
Yeah.
And then, we've lost quite a few, not a lot, but we've lost some other people that were regulars on the mission trip. One of our, a couple of our younger members over the years. Anyway, so I was just thinking about all those people, and one of our younger leaders was very close to one of the ones that we lost a couple years ago, and just trying to keep an eye on
Sure.
It was just a lot. So Wednesday was hard. Ben Jenkins, one of our other young adult leaders, did the devotion on Friday morning, and he talked about his sister Annabelle, who recently passed away.
My goodness.
We were a mess. It was beautiful, but it was just a lot. It was just a whole lot of emotion, but it was a great week. Of course, I got in trouble right away.
Sunday? And what time?
No, well, actually, John Harkey told me he was going to give me a jar. He drove down with me. He's another
Okay.
one of our younger adult leaders. And he was like, I'm going to give you a jar. It was not a swear jar. It was another kind of jar. And he was like, and we're all going to be able to like go to Disney World by the end of the week.
Yes.
Anyway, I tamped it down a little bit. But now I forgot where I was going with this. What was I talking? I mean, John
You were just talking
Harkey.
about like being in trouble and like how the
so
week was
Monday
going.
we go to our site.
Yes.
So the site that I was working on, we had our homeowner had a ramp built, and we needed to stain it to waterproof it and stuff.
Sure.
And she needed some flooring, inside flooring work done. Some parts of her house, the exterior were rotten. We had to replace that.
Sure.
Anyway, she was very nice, but she had a little dog named Boss.
Okay.
And he was like a little terrier something mix. Well, you know how I am about animals in general. And one of the
Feral.
rules is don't touch the animals.
Yes.
What's the first thing I did? He was an indoor dog. What's the first thing I did?
Grab the
I
dog.
grabbed that dog. I picked that dog up. So
Let me
I'm
pet that
Let me pet that dog. I'm going to pet that dog. I carried that dog around. He loved me so much.
Boss.
And our homeowner, I mean, she could get around a little bit, but we were all over the house. And
Yeah.
her mobility's, not great. And so I would take him out to go potty and bring him back in and, so right away. Right
You had
off the
floor
bat.
work and a pet sitter.
I mean,
Good for
we
her.
are full service.
There you go.
And one day she wasn't feeling well and she was in her bed all day, so I kept having to go in and check on her.
Yeah.
And I think she was dehydrated. I don't know,
Further proof that what we're doing matters.
It does. It matters. It was a great week. I got up this morning, I had my coffee by myself. It made me sad because cats are losers and they don't hang out. But it's one of the great things to get up in the morning and have coffee with everybody before you head off to your sites.
Yeah.
And then at night, the place we stayed in this year, it was really cool because our sleeping area was completely separate from the hangout area. And so with
Yeah.
all the kids, about midweek, we figured out, a couple of us ended up, we couldn't sleep, so we went back downstairs. And that grew, and so the adults would go down, the ones that couldn't sleep would hang
Sure.
out for an hour downstairs, and we
Yeah.
laughed and laughed
Yeah.
and laughed and had a great time. Anyway,
That is so fun.
doing the Lord's work.
Absolutely.
How was your week?
Well, it was good. So I, like you said to our dear listeners, I was Pastor Katie and Baby Galleon's personal chauffeur. And it was so fun. It was so wonderful.
And you went to Buc-ee's?
We went to Buc-ee's twice.
Yeah. What? If I had known you were going to Buc-ee's again, I was going to have to peruse and see if there was something I needed. Like,
Well,
I really wanted
if you could
a-
think of it, they've got it.
well, I know, but I wanted something with the beaver on it.
Well, they got a Bucky bikini.
I do not want that.
They have a Bucky trucker hat,
No.
a sweatshirt, a
I don't
straw
know.
with beaver's lips on it. It's
No,
kinda
you
weird.
have that.
Yeah, I didn't know if
It
you
makes
wanted
me
one too.
laugh.
Well, so we stopped at Bucky's because we needed a potty break, and you know that Bucky's is known for having like
The
a
cleanest-
self-proclaimed, or maybe not, cleanest bathrooms.
Yeah.
which they in
that's
fact
what I
were.
hear.
So Pastor Katie got some snacks. We both got a little beverage. I got some homemade lemonade, which I'm not so sure it was actually homemade, but
Eh,
whatever.
whatever.
And then we continued on our way. And so we made it to Johns Island, which is south of North Charleston. Is that right? I think. We
Yeah.
went to the southernmost
You went to
job
JD's
site.
site,
Yeah.
which is her husband's site.
And so we started our day, like day one, there. So we went to JD and Jason and all the other adults that are on that team. We went to their site first. They were a roofing site. And then
Big roof.
It was a large roof. And there was a large team there too.
Yeah.
It was really fun to see everybody. And then we went to Mark and Elizabeth and friends to see their site.
Yep.
He called that a scab site. Is that right? It was like just like little bits and pieces of roof that they were fixing.
Oh.
I think that's what he called it. Either way, they were fixing a roof in that same general area, probably about 5 minutes away from each other. And then the third and final stop for our first day. So there were 6 total sites for those of you listening.
Yeah, I got something to say about this one. Keep going.
So there were 6 total sites that our SCMT group was working on. And Pastor Katie and I, on the way down, we had this really wonderful plan. We said, we're going to hit 3 sites on, not Monday, Wednesday. We're going to hit 3 on Thursday. And then that will kind of be our regiment, because it was hot. She's very pregnant. I'm a drama king. It
You
worked
didn't want a
itself
baby
out.
being birthed in your car.
No. I just it was too hot for me to be outside for all the sites in one day.
Bless your heart.
Bless my little heart. So we went to the third site was your and Jeff and friends site.
Yeah, well, let me just say this, because when y'all, as you know, but I'm telling the listeners because I was not happy about it.
Yes. Tell
You
them.
got there and I was not there
Yes.
because I missed all the fun stuff on our site. I would leave and all the fun stuff happened, which I'm normally the one that brings the fun. I was not happy.
Well, we had to replace the fun that you were taking when you left. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, they ate Italian ice while I was gone, and I bought the Italian ice.
Okay, I had nothing to do with that.
Anyway,
That's very funny.
okay.
So we went to those 3 sites, and so the first was roofing, the second was partial roofing, and then your site was the flooring and the ramp staining.
It was
and
a hodgepodge.
There was
all
caulking
kinds of
outside.
stuff. There was all kinds of yeah.
So then we got back to the church and kind of got acclimated, set up our beds. It was good and fun, and we enjoyed dinner, and we all got our matching T-shirts that our team designed and that were sent off. They're a beautiful shade of blue with navy
course they are.
outline on them. And then, like Lori said, we went to Wide Awake Park. We went and got milkshakes. It was just a really fun first day. And then day 2 for me and Pastor Katie consisted of, we went out and prayed with everybody in the morning, sent them off. We packed up our belongings. We showered ourselves. And then we hit the...
You came back to me.
Yeah. So we went to the other 3 sites that we had not been to, and we went back to Lori's site. And it was just a lot of fun. It was so cool, mainly because I have ADD.
It was not cool.
Well, it was very entertaining and fun, should I say it that way?
You can't use the word cool ever talking about
No.
anything to do with South Carolina in June.
Or anytime after
Or just
Easter.
It
was really
butt.
fun because we got to, with my ADD mind, I'm always bouncing around from one thing to the next. And so it was really fun to get to kind of see all the different things. And I never got bored, of course. We went to a site where they were doing some indoor plumbing in a bathroom. And we went to another site. They were working on some things in the kitchen. And the other site was a roofing site. So it was just a lot of fun. Pastor Katie and I had lots of fun just getting to pop in and see everybody hard at work. You were talking about Ben Jenkins a little while ago. Ben brought his drone and got some incredible footage. So when we do a recap video of the mission trip, I will be sure to include that. It was just really cool. And, any mission trip you go on or any kind of experience like this that you have, they're all so unique to it. They're also unique to themselves because you'll never have the same group in the same way. And so I just appreciate that we, in some small way, were a part of that.
Yeah. And we got to be part of Crocs and Socks podcast on Wednesday night, which was so fun.
Speaking of hot, there was no flowing air in that room when we were recording.
It was very warm. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was fun too.
Yeah.
It was a great week. Like you said, they're all different. On the ride back, I was Jacob, he's one of our young adults. He was on my site, and then he ended up riding back to Greensboro with me, and he was like, "So what's been your favorite year?" And I'm like, "You can't compare them.
Sure.
They're all
Absolutely.
They just all have their things." And he wanted me to say, "Oh, this was the best year because I got to work with you." But and it was great. It was cool because the first time I went on the mission trip, his dad was on. We were on the same site, his dad and I, and so it was fun to work with him.
Sure.
As an adult, and then of course when we're driving back yesterday, we drove through. I was convinced I was going to die. the torrential downpour. I'm like, I'm in a
Oh,
rain-wrapped tornado.
yes,
I just know
yes.
it because the rain was blowing sideways. Anyway, we got back to the church. We were all. It ended up that there were 5 of us that pulled in together, and I of course got teared up. I'm like, oh, this is the sweetest thing. But we ended up meeting up on the highway in the rain, and I thought, well, if I die, at least we're all going to be together. All of our cars.
Here we go.
Here we go. Come on, Toto.
Oh, no.
But I mean, it's a great week, and it's kind of like birth. It's sometimes it's really painful and crazy in the middle of it, but then you kind of forget about all that and just remember all the
Sure.
great things. And so childbirth, you kind of forget about the pain. I mean, I haven't forgotten about the pain, but
Me neither.
a lot of people.
I haven't either.
Okay, well, a lot of people forget about it just.
Sure.
Now is just reflecting back on it. It was like, oh my gosh, it was just the best week, and I just love all those people so much.
Well, I think it's easy, like you're saying, to be in the moment and to be frustrated or to be overjoyed or to be exhausted or whatever the feeling is.
Yeah.
But then it's such a gift and such a necessity to step back after you get there or,
Yeah.
or after you get home or whatever. Like after settling back into normal life, like you do take that step back and you look over the week and you're like, God has been so good to me. And
So
has
good.
provided and has been there and has kept me from falling off a roof or whatever the thing is. But
Right.
God's generosity knows no end.
Yeah, it was a great week. So now we're back into not the full swing of things because we had a short week this week,
short
which
week.
I'm actually very grateful for. I need the rest. And then 2 weeks from today, we start our summer series during the Sunday school hour. And that's going to be great because we're going to be talking about that very first Sunday is going to be the United Methodist Social Principles, and Lacey Warner from Duke Divinity will be here, and she is a big deal. If you don't know anything about her, Google her or
Sure.
go on our website, christgreensboro.org/summer-series, and you can read about her and see some of the other speakers we're going to have. It is going to be a great way to put our discipleship into action.
Sure.
Right? I mean, we are called to raise those up who cannot raise themselves
Yeah.
up. So it's going to be a great 7-week series. It'll run through August 24th, I think. Everyone's invited. So if you're, it'd be a great time to come visit our church.
Sure.
Come to the class, go to worship. It's going to be a great learning series and a way to help our neighbors out.
Absolutely.
And then also, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday is our July Welcome Wednesday.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking all of a sudden. Anyway,
You're
all
good.
those things are great.
Well, since you feel that way, I will say this. I'm excited because our art walk, since its inception, last fall, I guess? I don't
Yeah.
know. Has been such a well-received addition to our facility, right?
Yes.
And so I am excited because, I didn't have to do anything with this one.
Yeah.
But no, I said that jokingly. I really do enjoy it. So with each new worship series, we craft an art walk that coincides and really gives you, the viewer, a chance to reflect or to engage somehow with what's being spoken, but in a visual way. And so this current art walk is from our very recent Vacation Bible School. So we are excited to invite you into the art walk, our Christ Kids art walk, really,
Yes.
and experience the creativity and the faith of our youngest disciples. In this exhibit, there are crafts from this year's marketplace, and you'll also see heartfelt prayers written during their time at a prayer station. You can also enjoy the display while making a new friend or asking one of our Christ Kids about how they experienced God during that week.
Yeah, and I love it because the little prayers and stuff were written on hearts.
The hearts. And it was so fun. I know you saw it too, but day one.
I got a
there
heart
was-
up there.
Oh, there you go.
Of course, I made
There
one.
you go. So day one, you had, say 20 hearts.
Yeah.
And then it just grows and grows
Yeah.
throughout the week. And now it's just
It takes up a
covering
whole
the
wall.
wall.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's great.
Yeah.
And that was Vacation Bible School was a fun week. I was not I subbed in a room for about 45 minutes, and I was like, yeah, this is why I'm not a
Damn,
VBS
this is
leader. I love you kids so much, but
Yes.
I think I'm just getting too old. I don't know. Anyway.
So I think we have enough time for one more little segment, you might even
Okay.
call it. Do you want to start us off on talking about the excitement around the new messenger and worship order?
Sure. So we made a decision back in early May that, with creation care and everything, that we wanted to try to conserve paper. We were printing about 500 12-page bulletins every Sunday, and most of those get thrown in recycle or,
What are you
Yeah.
going to do with them afterwards?
What are you going to do with them? So we made the decision to break them apart and just do a weekly newsletter, and we do print a handful, but we're trying to push to being online. And so the 9 a.m. service does not have an order of worship. It's, back before COVID, we didn't, in our contemporary worship,
Sure.
we didn't have a bulletin.
Yeah.
We still have a bulletin for the 11 o'clock worship, and it has worship order and all that in there, but they're just separate. And so the messenger, the newsletter, is available online, like it always has been, and they get it in their Friday email and Sunday email.
So that has not changed.
That has not. So that's all the news and stuff. The order
Yeah.
of worship, though, you only get if you come in person.
Yeah.
Now we'll have some discussion about this tomorrow, but there may have to be a digital copy somewhere for
Sure.
somebody. But anyway, yes, we've made that change, and there's been very little talk.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's gone over okay, but again, anytime you make a change, you think this, this is a great idea, but we're gonna have to tweak it a little bit. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, I think it's such a nice, it's not just we don't want to do this or we're changing it because, it's truly because we have made a very intentional effort in many ways, but this is just one of them, to be good stewards of creation.
Right.
So not only is it the water bottle fill stations and the battery recycling and all these other things that we're doing, but this is just I don't want to even say small because we're not small, but it's a way that we're caring for creation.
Yeah.
Not having so much paper.
So much paper.
Yeah.
And we literally, you look in the recycle bin, people just throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. But the handful of people that want a paper copy, they're still available.
They'll still be able to get them.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So anyway, you
Well,
have anything
friends,
else for me, Rojo?
I
need
think
to-
I'm
I
not
need a
out
nap.
of goodness, but I'm out of good things
No,
to talk about right now.
I just need a nap.
Yeah.
I'm
understood.
tired.
I've
We're
slept
recording
so
this for
much.
those who are listening. We are actually recording this on Sunday afternoon, like church is happening right now.
They might be singing
They
a
might be.
doxology. Who knows?
I don't know, yeah, but because Rojo's going to be gone all week.
I'm going to
I'm going
the
to be
coast.
so sad.
You can FaceTime me.
Okay. But you won't be outside at the beach because you don't like the sand.
No. I might. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, well,
Depending on parking.
I'm going to miss you so much.
I'll miss you too.
Okay. Well, and we're going to miss you, people listening, friends.
So, regardless of if we're in town on summer vacation or wherever we might be, we would love for you to come visit us on a Sunday morning for worship. So that is 9 a.m. in our fellowship center for contemporary worship, and 11 a.m. for our traditional service in our sanctuary.
Yep. Visit us online at christgreensboro.org. If you have questions or just want to tell us that you're going to bring us some ice cream sandwiches or popsicles or anything to keep us cool, you can email us at info@christgreensboro.org. And I do have to apologize. I know you keep hearing a little beep, and apparently my sensor is not working. So I apologize for the beeping, Rojo and dear listener.
Dear listener.
We hope to see you very soon, and we hope you have a great week, and we look forward to visiting with you next week.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.
We love you so much.
Bye, y'all.